What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're checking out the all-new 2026 Toyota Rav4. This one is the XLE Premium front-wheel drive, finished off in the windshield pearl. MSRP is right around $47,000 for this new SUV. Now the Rav4 has been the USA's best-selling SUV, and with the new one, do you think it is going to continue? Honestly, I think it's going to continue to be one of the top sellers because it really is a pretty good car overall, and there's lots to choose from with trim levels. And pricing, honestly, I think is very reasonable, especially when some of the trim levels are cheaper in the new model than the old model, especially the XLE. So for this, they all come with a hybrid engine. Plug-in hybrids are also available. This is going to get a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder. It is naturally aspirated. Being front-wheel drive, we have net horsepower at 226. The engine makes 163 pound-feet of torque. You're going to get a 14.5 gallon fuel tank, and you can expect 47 miles per gallon in the city with 40 out on the highway. Now, while towing, you only really have a trailer hitch on a Woodlands trim level. This front-wheel drive one is rated at 1,700 pounds, though. Most likely you're only towing if you're getting a Woodlands, though. For the headlights on the XLE, we just have our LED bulb, incandescent turn signal, and this silver trim in the upper and lower section. I like the gloss black connecting the lower side, and we have that hammerhead shape for this upper kind of bumper grille section. The middle grille I think is really cool with this kind of cheese grater style. Some people make fun of it. Honestly, I think it looks so cool with this body colored look. We have parking sensors, black trim, and then just the plastic black over on the far side. Plastic black down below, a nice opening as well. It's a great looking SUV. I like how it's a bit more bold and edgy than the last generation. A little bit more modern with just the sculpture and the style. Got these really sharp lines and this nice boxy section of the hood. Again, just giving it a more modern look. And then we have 18-inch wheels, a nice dual spoke, dark color, and then this plastic trim for the fender arch and a nice angled design. You're gonna see more of the plastic trim for the whole lower rocker panel, and then I love this body line that cuts all the way up towards the rear. We have body colored door handles, black mirrors, turn signal, and then the little black trim there, and then all black throughout the windows, as well as another black trim piece over here. So the whole ceiling area roofline kind of is floating. We have some gloss black roof rails on here as well, but it's a good looking car. I like the side profile, very similar to the old Rav4 with its overall proportions. And then I like all the sharp lines throughout the rear end. Just gives it a little bit of curves to this more boxy style. Taillights look really nice, especially with the LED design, and they're all kind of connecting with this black trim, so it looks really integrated. We have a spoiler up top, third brake light, all the badging, and then just a plastic rear bumper. More parking sensors, of course a backup camera as well. And then we get power liftgate, so we can press that button and open it up very quickly. So we have about 70 cubic feet of cargo volume with all the seats folded down. So nice bit of space. We have cargo on the far right side, flat folding seats, cargo cover, and I really like how this even has a spare tire, which you don't normally see on every hybrid. So nice to see all that. Now, if you do go ahead and fold the seats up, they're all manual. You're gonna get around 37 cubic feet of cargo volume with them in the up position. So still plenty of space. Got grab handles, an optional LED light design, and then we can press the button and close up the whole tailgate. For the interior, this just gets a black SofTex interior. You can fit 3 people in back. Got a nice armrest and cup holders. These seats even recline a little bit, which is actually really comfortable. Air vents, USBs, and storage. And then on the XLE, the door panels all have a harder plastic and then more of a basic vinyl for the insert and padded armrest. Still nice and padded though, so it's pretty good for the price point. And then hopping in at 5'11", I do fit pretty good. Depending on what size shoes you have, they can either fit nicely under the seat or they're a little squished. But this one seems to fit pretty comfortably, good leg room, plenty of headroom, recline angle's good, and these seats are really comfortable too. So it's genuinely a pretty good size back seat, a very functional, smaller SUV for the family. Making my way to the front, you're gonna get the smart key where you can lock or unlock it. And then up front, once again, harder plastics. Higher trim levels have a soft touch, and higher trim levels have a very premium soft touch throughout the insert. So again, depending on the trim level you go with, it might feel cheaper or it might feel nicer. This one's kind of in the middle, again, with just the padded basic vinyl. Got your grab handle again with that storage area. And then you're gonna get soft touch on the dash, and then same seats that you saw in back. Power controls for the driver's seat, the smooth and the perforated. contrast stitching, and then a nice 3-spoke steering wheel. Now inside, we can go ahead and fire it up. We got this smaller screen versus other trim levels, which this is good enough. It has basically all the exact same information. Just a nice black SofTex material on the steering wheel, a little bit of gray trim. We have cruise control on the right, lane keeping, steering assist, audio on the left, as well as voice commands and the screen itself. Windshield wipers on the right, headlights and turn signals on the left. And then you're gonna see a bunch of different shortcuts for the screen. Basically a bunch of presets for how you'd like to have the screen set up. So a lot of good info on here, very simple, but nice overall. We have the tailgate button, interior dimming, this soft touch material. Now around the air vents, this is like a satin metallic gray trim. So while some people say just cheap hard plastic, it's a nice finished material, so it does look really good. This is the only real cheap part, just the upper dash, just kind of flat and cheap plastic. But honestly, you don't really notice it given the shape of it. You're really more fixated on the screens, the satin color, which again, this is a nice material, and a soft touch. So it really does look pretty good overall inside. And then we're gonna see hidden storage all over here, your other air vent, of course, and then the screen. So pretty much all the exact same info that the larger screen has. I like how simple it is. We can customize it too, depending on what you want. So I like just how configurable everything is in this car. Drive modes, very easy to go through. You have the touchscreen design, and then other screens you can just tap right here. So cool look to it. Once set up, we're gonna get a full screen nav. We have audio and phone, and then settings, all sorts of basic settings you can take a look at. Drive performance, you can see a couple different things. Drive recorder built in. Depending on how many cameras your car has, you'll basically have a full vehicle kind of recording system, which is really, really cool to have. Now, climate control is always on the screen. Not everyone's a fan, but honestly, it's easy to reach, easy to tap, and it really just has everything right here. I'm not even a fan of touchscreen controls, but I really can't complain. So pretty easy and snappy to use, no lag in this system at all. So really no complaints with that. Good looking backup camera, just a basic one for this specific spec. Volume in a physical dial, more climate vents, one wireless phone charging pad, but you have a ton of storage all throughout this center, which is awesome. There's an EV mode as well. You can drive this in slow speeds and pure electric. And then we have this auto LSD traction control icon. So you can do that depending on what type of circumstance you're gonna be driving through. You got 2 USB ports, storage down below with your cup holders. You can remove that as well. Park and brake hold. And then once again, this is a finished nice material. This is like that satin metallic gray. So nice trim, even though the interior looks just all gray, which makes it look on camera a little cheap. In person, it is a lot nicer than you might think. You can remove this. You have storage down here. You can flip it around for a cargo area, and you can open it both ways. Well, let's look at the interior. Again, it looks kind of basic with all the colors, but there are pretty good materials, especially depending on the trim. Small sunglass holder, and then we just got a basic mirror to wrap it up. All right, so setting off now in the 2026 Toyota Rav4, so just slowly getting up to some speed. Not too bad. Obviously, you can get the plug-in hybrid, which has a lot more power. This one is the most basic configuration with front-wheel drive and just the standard hybrid. But sitting in here, we have a really good view around, nice visibility for sure. So it's just kind of an easy car to get used to. Can't complain with all the glass over your left and right shoulder, a lot of glass once again. So just, it's an easy open car. The dash feels low, so you just feel really open in this. Seats are pretty comfortable. I think the higher trims are slightly more padded, but this still, I can get into a great position. I fit in this interior overall really nicely. Armrests are pretty good. The way this moves does make it feel a little plasticky when your elbow's on it. That's probably my only complaint really with the interior. Just, I'm not actually a fan of that. I'd rather just have a typical one. The tech all works really well and easy. It's really not even hard using the touchscreen while driving. Again, I'm not a fan of touchscreen climate, and yet I don't have complaints. So it's actually easy and intuitive. Give it a chance. For those of you who don't like it, at least test it out, drive it around. You get used to it so quickly, and it actually works very well. The screen itself looks cool too. I like how they've done these different menus and everything. It's all snappy. So really good tech. Center screen looks good too. Just again, easy to read, easy to see everything you need. Now, driving in this with the hybrid system, you don't really feel and hear the engine too much kicking on. However, you definitely hear the engine when accelerating. But the hybrid system's pretty good in here. It's relatively smooth. And the good thing with a hybrid, it gives you instant power basically. When you first touch the throttle, the electronics are driving the wheels, so you're getting that kind of like an electric car acceleration when you first touch the throttle. There's no delay for the engine to build power. With an eCVT transmission, it's really an electric car with an onboard generator, and it makes this drive really good comparing it to other hybrids where the hybrid system just assists the engine. So I like how the RAV4 just feels snappy. It's not a fast car in the non-plug-in hybrid, but it's not slow. It gets up to really good speeds without issues, getting on the highway, merging with traffic. It is a very adequately powered vehicle, and around town especially, it feels nice and zippy due to the eCVT and just how the hybrid setup works. I'd say it's just a good, kind of a good benchmark. There's nothing too crazy about the way it drives, especially in this particular spec. This is, again, more of a base model with a couple nice features, but if you just kind of want a good average crossover SUV that has a nice modern feel to it and does drive pretty good, especially with the steering and the power delivery, you know, this new RAV4 is definitely something to put on your radar. I would absolutely consider buying one of these if I was looking for something like this. My parents are looking to get new vehicles in the next year or so, and I've already told them this is something you got to take a look at. So I would say this is probably one of the better options out there. It really seems to pack a nice driving experience, and I put the car seat in just for fun, and I can actually sit there relatively comfortable. So it's got good enough space for the fan as well.